I'm hungry. I haven't eaten yet. So I have a muffin. Muffin, cupcake? No, muffin. I always forget which one's the one that's bad for you, which one's the one that we tell ourselves isn't bad for you.
Yeah.
A muffin by any other name would be a cake. It's good though.
What sort of muffin is it?
Banana nut.
That is good.
Yeah. Tesh, how did you celebrate Easter? Do you celebrate Easter? How about that question first?
Not in any religious sense. In chocolate poisoning sense, yes. Now that my sister is living in this state instead of a different state, we had her over at my parents' place. We all grouped up, and my niece went on an Easter egg hunt for the first time. She's not even a year old yet, so she gathered. Reaching out and grabbing egg meant she got given chocolate, and that so very quickly it became a ooh.
Yep.
But we had to like intercept the egg, like the covered in foil egg from when she picked it up. It went straight towards her mouth. We had to intercept it and put a piece of chocolate in it in her hand.
No, do you guys do the plastic eggs or no?
No. It's like tinfoil wrapping around a chocolate egg.
Yeah, so we have those as well as various other candies, but we then put all of that inside of plastic eggs. So,
You ever heard of that, Tesh?
No, that's weird.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They come with wrappers.
Yeah,
Like the whole point is
they
they're
were
pretty
talking
colors.
about I don't know. They were talking about Easter, and they're saying how they
So
get
this
these
bucket
plastic
is half
eggs
empty
and they put
because a bunch of
chocolate
the plastic
and
eggs,
money in them, Tesh. Money. Put money in them.
What the fuck?
So this bucket's half empty because half the eggs are with the various kids that went to the other, that like went home, like with their eggs, and Rory has a bunch of like plastic eggs upstairs. But here's a
That's a lot of.
like a giant tote, and so you have, you know, little eggs that you put the stuff inside of it, and then so they find the egg,
Nope.
and then they open it up and the candy's inside, and some, and then like those are the little guys. Then you also have like the big ones too, and these ones
we
are
just
much more
have
fun to
chocolate
find 'cause you can
eggs,
find all sorts of
various-
stuff inside here.
We have
Like,
a
you can
lot of
actually
different.
almost put a pop, like a POP figure dolly thing
wow.
inside this. Like that's how big it is. You could almost put it in there if it was a narrow one, but like so there's all different sizes or what have you. And then every year you wait until they go on sale and then you buy more just in case you lose them or whatever for next year. So
This is an example of what we
yeah,
do.
all sorts of these things.
So that's like a caramel milk chocolate
Hold on, I'm
inside
gonna
a
put headphones
wrapper.
on so I can hear you.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize you couldn't hear me. Actually, yeah, that's a better thing.
Oh, it looks like a Cadbury egg.
So, yeah, but so what we do is we have like the various eggs that are chocolate inside that sort of tinfoil wrapper with all the colors and stuff on them.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
So we do that same, like we'll do Cadbury eggs, or we'll do like Hershey Kisses, or we'll do like mini Snickers, or whatever, all sorts of different things. Or again,
we just
as
do
I found
eggs.
out- as I
Lots
found out
of
money.
eggs.
but like those we would put inside plastic. And like I know that Brittany's uncle used to literally just take fistfuls of candy and throw them in the yard and let the kids go find it that way. And that was the unusual thing, was the fact that he would just go fucking find it, you know. Like,
Yeah, that's yeah. No, my parents went around and put them in strategic places.
oh, I literally hundreds of those plastic eggs I fill up with candy, hundreds. I mean, like
we did not
300
do
plus.
that many.
And then I go around and I strategically hide probably about 100 of them, and then about 200 of them I more or less kind of like throw around here and there. I love doing stashes. So like an area where you're like, if you find it, the stash is like hidden behind under a bunch of leaves or whatever it is, you'll find like 8 right there. You're like, ah! You know, like, because there's a whole bunch at once. And anyways, so it's just so funny, guys. I don't know. I can imagine some of the parents I know around here being like, you don't put it inside of plastic? What if like bugs got on it?
It's not going to be out there for that long, and if it's out there for that long, you're not going to want to eat it anyway.
So
Remember, Yeah.
I
Even
mean, you
when it's
don't.
cool,
It's not
still
just like
warm.
bare chocolate. That's it's wrapped.
It's in aluminum foil or
Yeah.
whatever. But so or tin foil, what have you. So the funny thing is, so here, because we're in different seasons, right? I'm opposite you.
Yeah.
I have not had a nice night before Easter since we started hosting Easter, like 6 or 7 years ago, whatever. It's 7 years ago, I think. So I can't go around the night beforehand and plant eggs around, which is what I love to do. Every morning I wake up, every Easter morning I wake up, the ground is sopping wet because it poured or snowed or whatever it is overnight. Every time for 7 years now. And so not only do I have to just wait till the morning of, I also have to wait a few extra hours for the sun to dry the ground as much as possible. So sometimes the kids pick up the eggs and there's like a slug crawling along it. You know what I mean? Because it just poured overnight. And then you're putting it in the dirt or under a bush or next to a tree or, what have you. So
I guess that's where the strategic placements are different.
well, but when you deal with hundreds of eggs, they're not just going to be all
I
because
guess
you're outside.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
We didn't do hundreds of eggs.
Yeah. I mean, if you have 4 kids, 300 goes pretty quickly,
I was gonna say, yeah. I guess with more kids, it would be a different story. But yeah, we did like 30 eggs, I think.
I want next year. So again, the neighbors directly across the street, the neighbors directly across the street that way because I'm on a corner. So like the 2 neighbors that are directly across from me, both have children that are the fun. Like one will be 9 next year. The other ones will be, I think, 5 and 3 next year. So I want to work with those parents, and we also do an Easter egg hunt too, Tesh. We do like Brittany puts clues, and so inside of like these specific baskets that are strategically hidden, there's clues for where the next basket is. So everybody starts at the same basket, and everybody's first clue brings you to the same second basket. But from there, whatever let's say you're pink, I'm blue, he's green. Whatever plastic egg you open up has a different clue to bring you to the next different basket, and eventually it brings you to where we've hidden an extra prize, like a toy or what have you, as well. So Brittany always coordinates that, but I want to get
cool.
I want to get the parents across the streets involved, so the kids have to go to the different yards. So it's not just like my same yard every year. They have to like go to different places, and I think that would be awesome. Like, a whole bunch of parents drinking mimosas, standing in the middle of the street, so the kids are safe running around trying to find eggs across 3-4 yards. That sounds great to me. So, but anyways. Oh no, we do hundreds. When if you go back, say 6 years, Viking. So our Easters used to be over 50 people. This Easter was only 30 people. But when it was over 50 people, the number of kids, they're just, some of them are older now, some of them didn't show up. We had, I think, 8 or 9 kids. So I did like 600 or 700 eggs. I literally started packing the eggs for days. We would watch a movie at night and just pack eggs. And I would throw out my back, putting them out the morning of, and yeah, it was fun. But like, it's cool because you just see the kids just go nuts. They just like, boom, everywhere, go nuts. So, but either way, back to the game. Sorry, I was side tangent there. Jake, you go walking up with your couple of soldiers to go speak to the field commander. Now, needless to say, when you come walking up with the soldiers, she'll just kind of like look at you and say, "I imagine you followed orders to the T."
Of course.
To the yes,
ma'am.
Nods, and she'll turn to them and have them start giving their recount. She's back inside of the facility. You actually, oh! This will be a fun thing. We'll say that you haven't seen Neil yet. That way you can have that fun moment with him, right?
Yeah.
So we'll say she's over by the facility, but not back inside the building yet. Like she's like kind of like around back where she has some of the soldiers are still unarmed, whereas many of the other soldiers that were under the COW's command beforehand would have been given their weapons and given orders and whatnot. Some of them are still unarmed and actually manacled, and there's about 7 of them that are unarmed and manacled and off to the side when you come walking up. And so her kind of turning her back to them, she then says to you, she turns to them and says, "Report what it was that you had witnessed." And each one of them were to report pretty much everything. I mean, it's missing information from that person or over-exaggerated from that person or what have you. But it more or less spells out what it was that you were saying, verifying most of what you had said, but with little tidbits off here and there. You've actually hidden 0 information whatsoever. So there's nothing strange there. The only thing that oh no. Yeah, no, nothing would be off. It would be exactly as. So again, everything seems like it's on the up and up. From what you remember it. And just to be clear, go ahead and roll an intelligence check just to make sure, like, you know, everything seems good. And you can roll a sense motive check because obviously you're watching these people. Yeah. So again, exactly as you remember, you were pretty tired during points of it, but this all rings a bell. And everybody seems to be relatively trustworthy with what it is that they're saying, with what they're doing here. So no concerns at all. So anything you want to interject with, or are you just going to wait for her to keep speaking?
No, I'm not going to interject at all.
Okay. She then looks at you and says, it seems as though everything is in order from how it was that you had described. I've done a thorough examination of all the details that you have put before me to confirm every one of them. Every one of them, of course, except for the corpses of the commander. And the commander, the traitor, and this assassin. I will expect to see you tomorrow morning, promptly, in my office. Until then, you are dismissed. Until then, you are dismissed. Get proper rest.
Thank you, ma'am. He'll salute and leave.
Okay. She'll then actually call at you as you walk away. Like when you're kind of at the edge of earshot, she'll call back one more time. BT.
Yes, ma'am.
Inform Gallon. He has the same orders.
Yes, ma'am.
She doesn't even tell you where he is, but, you know, you don't ask, so she doesn't tell, and you're good. So I imagine you head to the crematorium?
Yep.
Okay. So you can head over to the crematorium and go and say what have you to him.
Yeah, I'll just go in and find Gallon.
Yep. The place smells horrible. It's burning flesh. It's so gross. Now, luckily, this is before they used, before the invention and use of formaldehyde. But I don't know if there were other embalming fluids that were used prior to formaldehyde. Yes, sir?
I'm glad
There is embalming fluid actually in the game. So.
Oh, that's funny. But that could be because there's also guns in the game and not necessarily every campaign uses, you know. But go ahead, sir.
I was saying I'm glad I haven't swapped over to the pauldrons yet. I'm just prestidigitation constantly. I'm just in a small corner that is smelling very different.
Yeah, I imagine. Yes. So you go walking in, and I don't know if there's anything you wanted to say to him, sir.
I'd just approach him and say, Gallon.
Viggo, yes.
Orders from the field commander. We are to report to her first thing tomorrow morning. She also said to get some proper sleep.
Understood. Little warning. I mentioned it in passing, but our apartment's a little trashed at the moment.
Well, good thing. I think we should stay at an inn tonight.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably a good idea.
As you guys are walking out of there, again, the place smells horrible. Tesh, at some point in time,
am I? I thought I would be staying in there because she said she was gonna come in.
She gave you the same orders. You're going to go relax.
Oh, I guess she's not looking at the body now.
She can look at the body, but she doesn't need you there.
Okay.
So anyways, what was I saying? You as you guys are leaving again, Tesh, it smelled horrible in there. You're in there for a while, right? And sometimes it would cause like a shortness of breath for it. It probably took like maybe an hour and a half you've been in there because like how just like heavy the air in here is. Cheek, while you're in here, why don't you go ahead and roll me a alchemy check? Ooh.
Oh, wow.
One of the things that you notice is like in the crematorium itself, where there's actively bodies being burned, you can see through the plated glass area where they have a door shut and a body being burned. You can see that the colors of the flames are not natural color of fire burning. There's like other colors, spurts inside there, spurts of like greenish, spurts of like an orangish, but not like the natural color, right? Spurts of like pink and whatnot. That suggests to you that these aren't just bodies burning. There's other things involved in it as well. As to what those are and why, it's hard to understand. Even with a 31, it's hard to understand because there are many different things that can say cause a color to be a fire to be green,
Yeah.
right? Could be a different number of compositions. But that combined with the smell that's in here, you realize this air you're breathing is probably poisonous. This is probably very bad for you to be inhaling. To bring this into the meta for a second, very often people would wear things like makeups, like or use various chemicals in their body, or eat or drink certain things that were produced without the modern understanding of what it is that you're putting into your body. And that stuff would get locked into your body forever. And when the crematorium would burn you, it would release all that stuff as a gas into the air, heavy metals and whatnot, that would cause all sorts of issues. Especially if people like live nearby a crematorium, cause like cancer and all sorts of other shit. So that's like real life. So anyways, into the meta, you don't understand all of that. What you know is just with your understanding of alchemy, the colors going off there, whatever, you're like, ooh, this is poisonous. And it actually makes you a little bit concerned because of how long Gallon has been here. So as you guys are walking out of the place, you can walk Gallon out knowing that maybe you need to be a little bit concerned for him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
good.
radium jewelry. Or radium was also used in watches, wasn't it? Radium was there was radium plated plating was what they would put onto I think the hands, like the minute and whatnot hands inside of watch. Yeah. So I mean that stopped in like the 1940s or earlier, but yeah, for a long time they would put radium inside of watches because of how they worked, and you can get cancer off your watch. So small amounts, granted, but small amount for a long period of time, you know. Anyways, watches are also jewelry. I mean, sure. I mean, Jake and I, we talked about jewelry recently, where the point of jewelry is what? To portray status, right? Whereas a watch actually has function. Like, I can now see the time. But a pretty watch, I would agree with you, is jewelry. So. But if you're getting like a Timex for like $15, it's not jewelry. Anyways. So anyways, yeah, as you walk out, do you say anything to him, Jake, or do you just let's get this boy some sleep? He just gets a ladle and starts scooping out his lungs. Open wide.
He says, Gallon, how long were you in there for?
About an hour and a half.
A couple hours. Pardon?
Hour and a half.
About an hour and a half.
The air in there is poisonous. Tell me if you feel strange at any point.
Will do.
You develop a cough.
You just like
blood.
you adjust the potion belt with the with the cure light wounds potion, just like in case he needs it. Will do.
That won't help you, but just be alert.
Okay. Well, what are you doing?
Nothing. What are you doing?
What'd you do? Somebody was checking my sheet.
No. So could you go ahead and roll me a fortitude save with a -2, sir?
Oh my god.
Okay. As a pretty solid roll. Are you happy with that roll? Do you want a luck hit just in case, or do you think a 17 is good?
I think 17 is good considering people who had to have, they're not dying every day, the people who are working there. So I assume, hopefully, for only an hour and a half, 17 is pretty good. Okay. If I was there for longer, I might have lucked that.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you're solid. It's one of those things where I agree with you. Apple Watch is like I don't like silicone bands to begin with, so I can't wear electronic watches. But yeah, fucking expensive, man. Anyways, so the
yes,
like I'm sorry, just to be like 007, like.
Well, no, I'm looking into digital watches at the moment because for
like V-Sword's fiance
monitoring blood glucose levels. Unfortunately, none of the ones that are out now can do it, but there's rumors that the Galaxy Watch 5 will be able to do it. That'd be
cool.
pricey, but if it can do it,
But
I
if
only
it can do it,
need-
can you
don't
get
need
like a
it to-
medical, like, can't you get an allotment from like, is it because you would need it for health reasons? Can you actually get like some sort of kickback for it being a medical device?
If I wasn't already on welfare, probably.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Because I'm sure there's limitations to what you can dip into or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
If I can get on disability, which is an infuriating process so far, then that I might be able to get some help with it, but we'll see.
If there was ever one person that got like a Galaxy 5 smartwatch bought for them by the government for the sake of like them not dying, the whole Republican Party, Fox News, and what have you will
they'd
blow
freak
up.
out.
These
Yeah.
millions of lowlives
yeah.
feeding off the system just to have the newest smartwatch. Like oh my god.
So, yeah, it's I would definitely be getting a cheaper one, but if the 5 has the optical glucose monitor, that would be. I don't need it to be accurate because I only have type 2. I don't have type 1. So I just need it to tell me when it's like, hey, it's high.
yeah. Like within 10 or 15 or whatever is probably enough to be like, oh, warning time, Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
I don't need like the detailed readout.
Anyways, you guys go back to your room and you're able to spend the night absolutely no problems or what have you. Is there anything else your characters want to do? Because you're allowed freedom inside of the city. Is there anything else you would want to do while you're inside the city up until tomorrow morning? And the reason why I'm asking this is because we're kind of, not that we have to end the stream by any stretch, but we're kind of at that point where we can't really press on anymore without Neil here, because Neil should be part of the next bit of conversation and whatnot that takes place. Because like the next meeting with what's her name, it closes things out. Like things transition at that point.
You, if you would like, can have my cloak. The one with prestidigitation. The where is it? The exact wording is.
It's a hedge mage cloak.
Yeah, cloak of the hedge mage. Hedge wizard. Cloak of the hedge wizard. Specifically the one that has reduced person and expeditious retreat. I'll see if I can find the actual
transmuter.
thing. I believe that is, yeah. Because it takes off the same slot that the pauldrons are going to take, so I can't use it anymore.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd love to take it.
Yeah, then I will hand that off to you.
Thank you.
Find the exact page. Cloak of the Hedge Wizard. Here we go. I'll put it in our Discord chat.
I do have something for us to do as well.
Sure.
Yeah, so you can have that, and I'm gonna put on the pauldrons.
I prefer it because if we pulled up short, we could just sit around and BS or whatever. We can have fun, but it wouldn't be actual session time because again, I can't really push things without, the next chapter can't happen. So.
Yeah.
So thank you, Tash.
No worries.
Yeah, that gives you. Is it just prestidigitation and the other once a day abilities, right?
Prestidigitation, Mage Hand are both at will, which I imagine you will like. Mage Hand.
Yeah, Mage Hand's good.
And then the others are once a day, which is reduce person, and expeditious retreat, which you might very much like.
Yeah, both of those are very useful for him. It actually saves him potion making for both. He makes expeditious retreat often.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the pauldrons and you said it took off the same slot, like we would make it take the shoulder slot, I was like, oh no, that works. Jake will probably want this.
Yeah, Jake doesn't have a cloak currently.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So as a matter of fact, Neil currently has like a unique cloak, even though it doesn't really offer any abilities yet, at least, Tesh, do you want to tell chat what it is that the pauldrons do before we go over to Jake's idea?
Yes. So they give me both a +1 to armor in the suit, and they also give me a +1 to augmentation points, which is fantastic because that means I can. There's a whole lot of things that opens up for me because I was limited. Because there's a bunch of base ones I need to have on, and then I only had really 2 points to spare, or 2 or 3 points to spare, that I could flick around with the Trailblazer stuff where I could augment quickly. This gives me 4 points pardon me, 4 points spare, and actually now 5 points with the level up, which is even better because now I have 5 points that I can allocate to whatever I want or have free to quickly adjust to with things, which means I can do flight better and stuff like that. I'm excited. Having that extra point is huge.
Yeah, it certainly alters things having the extra augment because it allows you to
I
add
get one
so
per
many extra
level at the
abilities.
moment, so
Yeah, it's huge. But the one armor, does that increases your AC up by one?
My AC only
Okay.
when I'm in the suit.
Yeah. So it just augments
Yeah.
more or less it focuses and hardens the yeah. Okay, I gotcha. Cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
It can go up to a +3 if I pay for better ones. This is all I can afford at the moment though, because they're expensive.
I imagine that the pauldrons are as you described them before, with a little bit of showiness to them when they're in the regular form, but when you put on your full crystal form,
oh
crystal comes
yeah,
up,
they're gonna.
I
be.
imagine them being like large pointed ones, kind of like an anime character that has like oversized pointed pauldrons that kind of like really showcase.
I have some ideas about what I think I'm gonna do for them, which will be interesting. I'm gonna now that I have them, I didn't know I'd get them this soon, so I'm happy about that. I'll go through the various ideas of how I exactly want them to look with the crystal armor on.
Yeah, I'd be curious if you're going to have, like, again, assuming the large point, if you're going to have it be like a single swoop, come to a single point, kind of like a pear-shaped, like, cut diamond, like a diamond that, like, comes to just a single point, or if it almost like a natural crystal formation where it's just like a whole bunch of different jagged edges that get narrower and narrower, but it has a bunch of different jagged spots.
I think I'm probably going to go a lot more natural with the look of it. So, yeah, cool. That sort of stuff.
So less clean, more just like a crystal formation.
So. Exactly, yeah.
Almost
like it's growing off of the shoulders, as that's part of the like in the transformation as it goes over the shoulders gets enhanced by the shoulders and grows off them, sort of thing.
We gotta have a scenario where like your characters are in Underoath and like a natural crystal formation area where more or less you fall into like a cavernous geode, and it's just like your character just like stands there and people are like, where is he? It's like, I don't know. And like he's just like walking. Yeah. It's like an instinctive camouflage, and then you use camouflage on top of that, and they're like, I don't get it.
Oh my god. That's full predator mode right there.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, so beautiful. All right. Oh, sorry, I just remembered the last session or a couple sessions of Planewalker where I was like, wait a second. Changing colors the entire cavern around you. Oh yeah! I was thinking like pulsing color chains of crystals, but now I remember the flumps. So can we get some flumps in chat? So
the flumps.
All right. Anyways, back to game. Jake, you had an idea.
Yeah, can we meet up with Pan?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
She's gonna do us a favor.
Yeah. So you go, try to meet up with Pan. It's one of those you go back to the place, like, can somebody get and ship? Hey, she'll come and join you. It's not immediate. It takes a couple of hours or whatever, but she'll actually join up with you. I don't know.
All right.
I can't hear it.
That's throwing me off. Yeah, so I mean, I did invite her back. Have some dinner and have a drink or something at the tavern or the inn where we're staying, and just kind of, I'll say, So Pan, what ended up happening with you over at the COW's place?
I wasn't invited to be a part of your meeting.
But you still weren't allowed to leave.
Shook her head. Not until the field commander took over, and then all those strange safeguards were removed. It is funny to know that the COW has been confined to her chambers since that meeting in the morning.
She's still there?
As far as I know, but honestly, I didn't ask questions. So, some things you ask, some things you learn, some things you just avoid. Ignorance is sometimes the best weapon.
That is true.
Yeah, she's a little angry right now.
Did you happen to hear anything Remember that rumor you started? And you returned from that, yeah?
The rumor can remind me. It was
Yeah, the Juan T.
Warriors
was
did
that,
this.
is that,
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Oh, she nodded. She said, "Oh yes, in fact, I did hear something. It wasn't that the Yuan-Ti warriors did it because we both know that they didn't. It was actually some members of the what are they called? Kingsguard have spoken out quietly, but word spreads to counter the fact that Yuan-Ti warriors are taking credit for the situation." They're announcing that it was, not announcing again, rumor is they are the ones that did it. It was in fact them. And moreover, they actually did so in unison with the last surviving member of the Black Knights. So that means that the mage that we had detected in the alleyway, hi love, the mage that I had detected in the alleyway, whoever that was, it's very likely that person was the last member. Thanks. That person was. Thank you. That person was the last surviving member of the Black Knights. So if we could find out a person who we think it is, who we suspect it is, there's a chance that I would be able to get an inkling off of it. That wouldn't just discover who worked with the person who went in and killed Rylor. That would also, in theory, discover who the last leader of the Black Knights is.
Okay.
That's
good to know.
It is good to know. How do you suggest to proceed on that front?
She says, "We're going to round up every gnome in the entire city." She stops as you guys start chuckling,
Yeah.
And then she shakes her head and says, "Unfortunately, this is out of my hands. If we think that they're a member of the Arcane Congress, we can try to get a list of the number of gnomes from the Arcane Congress that are currently stated here, but they're probably not going to be willing to share that."
Yeah, I would have my doubts that would be with the Arcane Congress, but I guess you never know.
It's true. I wonder if just talking to people, especially around the docks area, of if there are any known gnome magic users residing around there or anything. I haven't needed to hide per se until now. Hiding that they're a member of the Black Knights, yes, but maybe not hiding that they're a mage. Might be a place to start.
She shrugs, potentially.
I mean, all the other members were known around the city.
She shakes her head and says, "I can't confirm that was your information."
Yeah. Alright, well, depending on how, I guess, this meeting goes with us tomorrow will depend on whether we're still investigating or we're, well, who knows.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at her spells real quick.
Today went well, but yeah, it could still go poorly tomorrow.
It's true. And Pan, this is one of the reasons I asked you here is that favor I asked of you. Can you help us in identifying a few items, please?
Potentially.
Shall we?
Ask her to present them.
Oh, well, we'll get out our items that need, probably not on the table here.
Oh,
probably
yes,
upstairs.
need identifying. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, I have the list. Where are they?
No, there's a jeweled dagger that I'm interested in.
As she sees you pull out the third and more items from there, she goes, hold on. Could you at least start a tab?
He just puts his hand up at the bartender. Yep.
And
okay.
She orders an expensive drink, not like crazy expensive, but not something cheap.
Yeah.
One of those where you're like, bro, you know?
You know exactly what she's doing there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we got the crystal garnet necklace, the masterwork sword that was like especially ornate masterwork sword, chain of silver bracelet, the finely crafted saber that was also like apparently especially masterworky, the wand, well, the knotted rod, which we're assuming is a wand.
Let's take this
'Cause it
back a
came
step.
from the
Let's take this back a step.
druid.
Number one was what?
Oh, the crystal garnet necklace.
Crystal garnet necklace was on specifically the undead guy,
The
wasn't it?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I think so.
she's trying to detect the crystal garnet necklace that's on there, and she goes, hold on, she has to make a check, doesn't she? Let me do greater detect magic. Spell functions like detect magic, auras. Additionally, when you use standard action, concentrate on a spell, you can study the creature, attempt a spellcraft check in order to the last spell the creature casts by identifying the lingering spells. Identify spells equal to. Finally, you are able to locate and analyze signature flourishes in a magical aura that allow you to match the spell to a person who cast it by spending 1 round focusing on your knowledge or arcana check. 15 plus the spell level of the caster. Once you learn the caster's identifiers, you can remember them as easily as a face or a voice. You can recognize if you do. Okay, spell greater than. Okay, cool. So first thing she needs to do to identify is, I believe it's spellcraft to identify. So give me 1 second. This is gonna. It's spellcraft checks to identify an item. So Pathfinder spellcraft. Identifying an item.
Not knowledge arcana?
No, I'm almost positive it's this. But give me 1 second. I'm confirming. Identifying properties of a magic item is 15 plus item's caster level. That's how you identify an item. So it's spellcraft is what you use. So I'm gonna roll it 2 different things right now: spellcraft and knowledge arcana. Which one would you like first?
Spellcraft. Can I assist with any?
Do you have training in spellcraft?
Yeah.
Do you have the ability to cast detect magic?
No.
Then no.
Yeah, that's why you couldn't identify them. I remember that now.
Yeah.
Oof.
Give me 1 second.
Can you help with the knowledge arcana?
Potentially. Only because of a conversation from before. Give me 1 second. Wait, it's an opposed.
What?
Give me 1
How
second.
does the how
Oh,
does
no, it's not opposed. It's not opposed because it's a DC.
I was gonna be like how does the magic item have an opposed? Is it alive?
So, I just want to make sure I get this correct because I want to get the ruling correct. I don't want to screw up. No. No, never mind. It's not supposed to be an arcana check. It's supposed to be another spellcraft check. So I have to roll another spellcraft check. Sorry. Let's say it's good.
Yeah,
It's
that's
slightly
I
better
remember it
modifier
being
for
spellcraft checks.
Okay.
A lot of them.
This one right here, you could assist on because of conversation. The first one you could not. This one you can. As I said beforehand, you would be able to assist because of conversational something for earlier. So go ahead and roll your spellcraft.
Ooh.
All right. She starts off by going, well, this is an interesting amulet. It seems to be not exactly something that provides any ability. It seems almost like a bridge of sorts. Hold on. What is this bridging to? It looks like it's supposed to almost act like a siphon or a bridge to take... Wait. What's this? This looks familiar. She starts like explaining something to you. You guys are going back and forth explaining, and I imagine at one point in time, Gallon's just like, okay, and like goes across the room and or like sits there and maybe starts polishing a weapon or a crystal or whatever it is while enjoying a drink. And then she's like, Viggo, you know what this means, right? This amulet was crafted by the same person that cast a spell in that alleyway. It has all the identifiers on it. Like everything we discussed beforehand, this has all the identifiers on it. This is a bridge between the one who casted it or maybe wears a similar object and the one that wears it. It allows them to use their abilities or spells or what have you across a distance to provide to them a degree of aid or maybe even detect the status of the individual. That means that the fact that you did the raid in the middle of the night was a greater boon than you otherwise could have expected. If he was awake or she was awake when this attack happens, they would have been able to channel their spells through this amulet and bolstered the creature that you fought way more. But the fact that they were sleeping because it was in the middle of the night made it so that you just dealt with the creature.
Well then, that could have gone poorly.
Fortunate indeed. Can we use this to track? Is there some way to trace it?
She looks at you with like the joy of somebody who was just handed their first console. You know what I mean? She's like, that's how I found out who you are. Anything that's unique, like Tristan's cloak, I can track it easily, very easily. Now, granted, I've never seen the object that this is linked to, but the fact that it's linked to this object and I understand his signifying marks, I understand what it is, I'm pretty sure I can get a good idea in my mind the identifiers of that amulet to counter trace back. I'm almost positive, yes.
This is a game changer.
We have good news for the meeting tomorrow.
Yes, the field commander will definitely be happy with this information. Hopefully, maybe even we might be able to do this tomorrow. That would finish off the Black Knights, and not only that, it could lead us to the person who killed BC Rylor. This is huge.
Yep.
She nods. You want to wait till tomorrow?
That's that's the whole in meta. Yes, because multiple reasons, including Neil. In game, we can at least make sure they're not running.
You wait till the next session, but still do it tonight. You know.
Yeah. Would they know?
We need to seek permission though. So it's definitely we're going to go report in now, which is going to be shitty, but hopefully they get why we're reporting in.
Yeah. Well, I guess realistically, the rest of the stuff's probably going to. Actually, no. There would be a couple of things specifically we'd want to.
While we're here, we're still going to get it going. All right, we're still going to get the rest of these items.
Realistically, because another one might have something like this in it.
Yeah. There's a dagger that matches the same stone.
There is. Yep.
Thing.
There was a dagger with a crimson garnet, the same sort of same garnet. So what I would that would be next, actually, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That actually came from his chest. The same guy's chest. The undead guy's chest.
You go. What do you say? You say like, well, let's identify this next item. Should be like, identify an item. Should we go and speak to the commander now?
This one specifically might be related, and it would very obviously have the garnet that looks similar.
She looks at it, looks a little suspicious of your interest, but understands the logic behind it and just goes, okay.
The garnet we should check, and then we should probably go. I think the rest we can say are probably different.
Yeah.
But this garnet dagger there's reason to believe it might be related.
Yeah,
all right.
That's true.
So check number 1. Oh, sorry. This is to identify.
Yes, then we should go to the thing. We'll do that next.
She can't identify what it does. Jake, you can assist in this next check. Go ahead and roll a spellcraft. This includes the 2. Let me just writing it in the wrong spot. There we go. This includes the 2 in it. She shakes her head and says, if it is linked in any way, I can't discern it. Moreover, I can't even discern what this dagger does. The best I can do is I can tell you that it's shrouded in necromancy.
Lovely. As he goes to put it back in his pack.
Well,
I guess we should be on the move then.
Yeah. Look at it again another time, I suppose.
He looks longingly at his drink.
So pressed.
What'd you say, Viggo? What?
I said we'll revisit it again, I suppose, when time isn't so pressed.
Oh, yeah. But by rules, she has to gain a level and put another point to spellcraft before she can even try again.
Oh, well. I'll have to get somebody else to do it.
Oh, no, that's not true. She tried to cast it with Detect Magic. If she casts a spell Identify, she would be able to try a second time prior to...
Identify doesn't give it to you in this one?
It gives you a plus 10.
Does she have Identify? Yeah.
She has a plus 11 normally for her skill. It's just I rolled shit. You know what I mean? So bards have very limited number of spells known, so giving them Identify is rough. So,
Okay, so I guess we'll do what happens next session, I guess.
Okay, so then it's one of those things where you have those details, and she says, I'm not going to join you for this meeting. I'm going to stick along the outskirts. The other detail we didn't go over when you had asked about the Jihuan warriors and everything that led to this, there is rumor that the Jihuan warriors, while invigorated by the fact that they've taken thus far responsibility for these actions, might act again, and soon. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the very near future they try to cause actual chaos in the streets. The number of soldiers that were brought in was very small, and there's a target now in the city that is more tempting than usual, and the next best target has already been eliminated. So I don't know how soon they'll act. Usually Jihuan warriors will either act instantly and with zero planning, or with very intense planning and something that you can't properly guard against. The more time that passes between now and then both belays the concern that something will happen and enhances the concern should something happen.
Doesn't she kind of need to be there because she's the one that can trace it?
She doesn't need to be there. Oh, you mean to cast a spell? Sure. But she can be given the commands to do so, and she can just go ahead. Like, you can literally just be like, boss lady said just cast it. And she's like, cool. She casts it.
Yep.
Okay.
One day we'll get them identified test. One day.
One day. One day.
Yep.
All right, cool. So I guess that is where you have to stop then.
Yep.
For funsies, let's say that the first one you identified wasn't the whatchamacallit. Let's say you had one more item would have gotten identified before the amulet, right?
Yeah, it's just unfortunate because that was the order that I copied them down in.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's fine. It was the important order, right?
So we get to choose one more. What do you want? The wand, the saber, the sword, or the bracelet?
Probably the bracelet. I mean, do you use swords?
No, I can, but no.
Yeah.
So
and
the bracelet.
do you have use magic device for the wand?
I think I actually do. No, sorry, I have used psionic device.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so probably the bracelet, I'd say.
All right, cool. So let's do the bracelet. She gets to roll a spellcraft check to see if she can identify it. You do not get to assist in this.
Yeah, so I don't know why I copied down stuff you were describing the bracelet with. Chain of silver and then speed over power was something you said the way it looked.
Yep. Give me 1 second. I remember exactly what it is. Okay, I was like, no. Okay. Bracelets of what is it? It's a bracelet of dexterity +2. So literally, if you put this on, it increases your dexterity score by 2. It also gives you, while you're wearing the bracelet, it allows you use of the feat. Hold on, how does it go? The one that allows you to reduce your chance to increase your AC, combat expertise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it gives you combat expertise as a feat.
Sweet. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So +2 dexterity and enhancement bonus to dexterity. To be clear, I think your armor also gives enhancement bonus, doesn't it, Jake? Tesh.
Let me double check. It varies. Some are enhancement bonus, some are just straight bonuses. I think. Wait, where is it? I think Dex is enhancement bonus. Yeah. Climb, chameleon, brawn. Yeah, they're enhancement bonuses.
So that means it can't stack for you. That would have to go to one
Yep.
of the others.
These don't work with me.
I mean, I'll take it. I don't know. We could ask Neil. I think he's a strength character for the most part, whereas
It's not necessarily a matter of being strength. It's a
Can
matter
ask
of whether or not Dex can even be beneficial. Give me a second. I'm loading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His armor has a max Dex bonus of +1. His dexterity is a +1. So if he put that on, that would he would not get any additional bonus for his AC. He would only get or I think reflex saves either, but he would only get it for his skill checks. So it's less beneficial for him because he's already at the max that his armor allows.
Yeah.
Well,
So yeah,
hey,
that's a you thing.
I'll take it.
Yeah. There you go.
Nice.
Don't worry,
That's a
Jake.
good one for me.
That's not what we were discussing. Not quite
Well,
there
we
yet.
have a huge session next session.
I thought
Yeah.
this is kind of a big session. I mean, we goofed off only
No,
a
this
little
was
bit,
a big
but
session.
yeah, there was a
this
lot of
was,
intense.
but then, yeah, I mean, Neil got promoted. You know what I mean? That's gonna be
Fun.
dealt with. We've got to wrap things up with the current arc thing that we're in, as well as now maybe hunting this gnome, depending on what the
Yeah.
person says.
At least 99% of the you are traitors bullshit is done. That's pushed aside. We've bypassed it. We've beat it.
Let's hope, right?
I mean, she's giving you orders to leave XYZ to like go about. She's asked you to do things to verify your own details. Like there's
Yeah, I
clearly
think
been a
we're
lot of
good.
trust put there, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the fact that you were first contact for information by sending a report out like a day or whatever beforehand was certainly beneficial. And the fact that Neil went there and the way that they reacted when Neil went back in. Well, like I said, I'm sorry for that, but it was a test and they failed. Like that was an important
Yeah.
line. And that's why literally I was like, the very next thing was, as a reward for what it was that he just did after all the effort that he just went through, she was just like, keep an eye on this, Warden, you know? And he's like, whoa, because up until when you're a champion, you don't get command over other soldiers. When you're a warden, you could be appointed command over a few number of soldiers consistently or in a larger number for a short period of time, which is what she just did right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was pretty fun. Oh, okay, I get to the side.
A poor guy.
Oh god.
That dude who got locked up for giving us our weapons back is probably like smug as fuck right now.
Wonder if he's been let out.
I imagine he probably would have, given the situation,
Yeah. I mean,
because he didn't so much as disobey a direct order as feel like, given the situation, Paradel's interests are you have these weapons.
I wonder if the Arcane Congress would be interested in. How do they feel about other? I don't know what level of magic use a gnome is.
If he's not Arcane Congress, they'll be mad.
Will they? I can't remember what they're like. I think.
Especially
you
in
can
Paradol,
do
I'm
magic, I
pretty-
think, as long as it's not above a certain level, right?
Yeah, zero and first level spells don't even really require licensing. It's once you hit
Yeah,
second
but
to
higher,
fourth level
yeah.
spells require licensing. And then
I
once
was
you
about to say,
fifth
in
level and
Paradol,
above,
you need to have gone through them.
Yeah.
So,
and when you're fifth level spells and above, you have to get licensing in each region that you go to. Not just like, so like, for instance, I have a driver's license in Massachusetts, but I can drive in any state in the United States, and that's honored. If I go to Canada, they're going to allow me to use my Massachusetts driver's license. If I go to Mexico, they're going to allow me to use my Massachusetts driver's license, even though it's not even in my own country, right? That's the same idea with second through fourth level spells. But once you get to fifth level spells, it gets significantly more strict, where every city you go into or every municipality that requires its own whatever, you need to get explicit permission for you to be able to use that kind of magic there, you know? So if you have permission in Molisal Harbor, that doesn't mean when you go to a different city in Delagus, you have permission. And certainly does not mean that if you go to a different state or a different province or a different nation, right? So,
Well, I wonder if we might be able to swing a joint operation here. You know what I mean? For one, if they don't know about them, I don't know, or I don't know, maybe like a license check. You know what I mean? Get a gnome showing up, checking licenses. You know what I'm
it's just
saying?
whether they'd be willing to do it. They might. It's one of those things
Well, I mean,
where
it's against
how good their
if
relation.
if they're not known to them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's the thing. It's
And if they are known to them, we may be able to get information from them. Maybe.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. There are lots of ways it could go.
I mean, I'd like to take an AC member with us. I'm not gonna lie.
huh?
Get your friend. What was his name?
I don't know what he specializes in.
Necromancy.
No, well, I mean, no,
Maybe not specialized, but he was able to do necromancy.
Yeah, he had that spell. He was able to cast that spell. That's not necessarily a specialty, though.
No, yeah.
Most AC mages, though, as compared to like most D&D worlds where the average mage is a universalist, and then there are specialists, and with the AC, almost all mages are specialists. To be a universalist is strange. That's like going to community college to be what is it, sociology major. You know, it's like, oh, well, good luck with that. You know.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I went to college majoring in. It was so long ago at this point. It's so funny. I was originally going to go for environmental management, at a really good school that I got accepted in, like a good state school that I got accepted in, and I fucking turned it down for a girl. And
I mean, that's always the way, right? I had a job that paid a lot of money, and it was just when I'd finished school. And then, met a girl, and it was like, yeah, I don't want to go to work. You know, it's 7 o'clock every morning. I want to do other things.
I want to roll over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
Okay.
Wrong pipe. Oh,
You okay there?
yeah. Then how often I drink water and go down the wrong pipe. The fact that I didn't do that once during any of my interviews. Wow. It's like luck. So it's funny. I actually set up right there. Here, let's see if I can make it visible for you. I haven't gotten an email yet, by the way, but it could just be that the person that would send me the next email needs to speak to them rather than just get a report or whatever from them. And he's on the West Coast, so if it's 11 o'clock here, it's only 8 a.m. over there, so he might not even be at work yet. So you can probably see. I don't know how zoomed I can make this for you. No, I'm not gonna move my camera around, but you can probably see like right behind the bowl is my laptop. It's a silver thing. Right here is my laptop.
Yep.
And this right here is the Brio camera that I got beforehand. It's like a 1080. I think it's 1080p. Maybe it's 4K. No, it's a 4K webcam. It was like a cheap one. It's the one that Messi has that I got right here, and I put on like a little stand to make sure I looked good. But I used like my D&D books like on the shelves as my background. but to give like a simple, I wasn't going to give this look because this look very much looks like I'm inside of a basement because it's not done yet.
It does.
So
it's very obvious look.
yeah. So I didn't want to give that look for the interview process. So I gave something that looked a bit more, professional or what have you, even though it was literally D&D books and holocrons behind me. But they get it. It's a tech industry, right? They're like, oh, you're a nerd.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So when they're sitting there and they're looking at my experience, like, wait a second, why are you applying to this job? Your resume does not suggest you should be here. I'm like, well, either way. So I was really hoping to get one by 11 o'clock. I'll do my last check at 11 o'clock before we pop off the call here, just to see. But I imagine not. I just know that the person that sends this email, she schedules emails, so like a time on the nose it gets delivered.
Yeah.
So I'm a kind of person. Whenever I speak to like a person in this like the professional field, you like match cadence and whatnot. So I started responding back with scheduled email responses. like there's only one way you're getting that on the nose is every time you do it by luck or, So I was like, oh, I can play this game. Click, 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 click. So it's weird. The stupid little games you play. I'm like, just give me a chance. Sucks adulting. Throwing every part of your right, like you take your whole soul and you throw it on the table and you're like, judge me, but like it. Tesh, when was the last time you had to go for a job interview, sir?
Just over 4 years ago.
Okay, so I'm almost 5 years
my
ago.
current job. Yeah.
Yeah, I was June 5 years ago. So June would make 5 years. So just under 5 years ago. Yeah. So close. Remember how nerve-wracking it was?
Oh, yes. I still very much do.
Right? Like, you hate it. And then there's like those gaps of time.
I loathe it.
You're like, wait, why didn't they? I talked to them at like 9 a.m. Why didn't they call me back by 5 o'clock? What? They didn't call me the next
like
day either?
the longest week and a half. The time after is just extended.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just, yeah. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, make a decision. So at least if you tell me no, I can get angry and call it a day, So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not knowing is the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what is it? The principal's office moment. We were sitting there waiting to be called in next. So not that Tesh ever got put down in the principal's office. Jake knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
No, I definitely did.
What? You? Hold on. What's your worst I got in trouble at school or principal's office or what have you scenario?
So I picked up a kid by the throat against a wall. To be fair, he was punching me in the face repeatedly while he was doing this.
Okay, interesting. He must have been a smaller kid.
He was a little bit smaller, but not that much smaller. It was against a wall, so it wasn't that hard.
Yeah. Gotcha. Just a little bit of upwards, and even 2 inches beneath the feet can feel like a mile. So.
Exactly. Yeah. I can't remember exactly. I don't think it was that high. It just felt high at the moment.
do you want to go into more details of the scenario, or is that enough?
Oh, it was one of he misunderstood something he took something that was it was a really dumb joke thing that was like surprising people and like in a head, not a real headlock but like a fake headlock. He took that and then thought it was very real and started throwing punches, so I picked him up against the wall.
Oh, so somebody else was headlocking him and then you stepped in?
No, I did it to him. He took
you were the
actual,
instigator.
Headlock.
Oh,
yes.
So you were actually the bad guy.
Yes. I know it was something that wasn't meant to be taken. It was a fake headlock thing. He thought it was real, and because he dodged it, he went into just throwing punches.
Yeah, it's just
a
prank, bro.
Like I said, it was dumb. It's one of those things that
it's just a swirly. Come on, what can happen? It's just a swirly.
School, so it wasn't that big. They weren't hard punches.
So Jake, do you want to talk about what got you kicked out of high school, or do you want to just do a more mild story? Like, do you want to talk about what got you expelled?
High school, thank you.
No,
I got
expelled.
suspended, but
Oh, we've
not
all been
expelled.
suspended.
Yeah.
No, what?
My worst was just fighting.
Yeah,
That's
fisticuffs.
it. That's yeah. Except it was funny because it was before I like filled out. I was younger and I don't know. I think I was last time I actually got in trouble with school. I think I was in year 7, and I was very, like I'm short now. I was a short kid, like I said, and slim, and this kid just kept. She was at me all the time, so do what kids do and ends up going to fights. And I would have. No, like I went all right, but I was getting beaten up, dude. And but the guy was when people get overwhelmed, they start like crying and stuff. So like he's crying and fighting back, and to the point where he was like scream crying. And even though I got the shit beaten out of me, kids look at things strangely. And because I'm sitting there like, like I'm angry, but I'm not emotional.
Yeah.
So I got the dub, didn't I? And from then on, I never had a single problem in school.
Well,
That's awesome.
yeah, that's
from
like
that one incident.
the fight that I was in. I
awesome.
spent the entire time asking him to stop punching me. And so people just saw him punching me in the face, me holding him against the wall by the neck, saying, "Please stop punching me, stop punching me, stop punching me."
That's funny. That's funny.
It had a little similar of effect for a bit.
Worst thing I ever did was 2nd grade, throw a chair at a teacher. Was one of the big things that led to
And a
me.
teacher.
Yeah, it was one of the big things that led to me getting held back. Right. Last time I actually got in a fist fight with somebody was 4th grade. And got in a lot of trouble for that one. And mind you, at that time I was actually on Ritalin already, so that person was definitely the antagonizer in it. But if you want to talk, I've probably said this story to you guys a billion times. The reason why people eventually stopped messing with me was that scenario where like there was the captain of the soccer team, or you guys would call it football team. He used to copy off of me in one of our classes. And there was somebody that like, because I always ran my mouth. I run my mouth. It's just, I'm a big mouth. I do that. So somebody was more or less like, I'm going to beat your ass, meet you at the pit after school. And I was like, fuck. But, you're going to go and you're going to show up. So anyways, I met at the pit after school and they never showed up. And I didn't know why. And I found out the next day at school that what happened was people knew that person was going to fight me at the pit after school, which is like an area outside the school, whatever. So they knew that was going to happen. And for some reason, somehow, the captain of the soccer team happened to bump into them, or they happened to bump into the captain of the soccer team, and they weren't happy with it, and so like beat the shit out of the person right there, and from that point on, nobody ever like challenged me physically since. And that was, I think I was in 10th grade or something. It was 9th or 10th. I think it was 10th grade. And in high school, nothing else came physically, thank God, because I run my mouth. But yeah, it was like, I didn't even do anything. Like, it was just, I let somebody copy my work. I like helped them out because they were struggling. And I like to believe because of that, he heard the rumor and stepped in for me. I'd like to believe that's what happened. But getting suspended, skipping school, so many times, so many stupid things, constantly. Like I'd be in I was when I was in calculus class, I would get 90s to 100 on my exams, but I would never pay attention to class. I would get in trouble in the class because I would sit there and read R.A. Salvatore books or go over like the rules in my like 3.0 D&D books rather than focus on the classwork. So I'd get in trouble with the teacher for a while for not paying attention. So I used to get in a lot of trouble for that until, again, after I passed a bunch of tests, and he eventually put me in the back of the class at my own desk. They were like the kind of like science style desks, so they're a little bit longer, so you could fit 3 kids at it. I was sat at my own desk by myself. The desks that were nearest to me only had like 2 or 1 kid as well, so like there's nobody near me. I clearly wasn't cheating, and I was still doing well on the tests. So that's when he finally was like, I'll just leave him alone. So, but I had to prove that I wasn't cheating and that I wasn't paying attention because I was bored before he left me alone. So I used to get in trouble all the time for stupid shit. But yeah.
Do you remember glue sticks, right?
Yeah, of course. My daughter has a billion of them.
Yeah, I remember my maths class, right? We would do every single maths class. We would well, not everyone, but most.
What class?
There'd be like maths.
Oh, math. Okay, gotcha. Like arithmetic. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There'd be like 12 of us, and we would all, like, as soon as the like lesson would start and the teacher would turn around, it was like a coordinated. We would like extend the glue stick right out and then throw them at the roof. And so there would be so many glue sticks all up on the roof, and then just like during parts of the lesson, you just see one just like fall off the roof. And it was one of those like the ceiling was so high you couldn't get them down. We would do that. We would have honestly done it at least 20 different times. And sometimes they'd be out there for so long too.
That's one of those ones where as a teacher, you just punish the entire class for it. You know? Just like if one glue stick goes up there,
Hey,
the entire class is detention for the next 4 weeks.
It was ignored and never acknowledged. Never, ever even acknowledged.
That makes me think that that particular teacher used to do the same thing when they were in class, and they're like, respect. Like, I can't get mad about it. It's like I'm so snarky and sarcastic that when my daughter gives me snark and sarcasm, as long as it's not disrespectful, obviously, as long as it's meant to be playful, it doesn't bother me. I think it's hilarious. I'm like, yeah. learn that timing. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. These are your formative years. You got to learn the delivery. So, as long as it's not disrespectful, obviously there are times where joking is not okay. So, we all understand that. Anyways, it is about 10 past. Nothing yet. I should go upstairs and start, living my life like an adult. There are times to talk and there are times to keep quiet. Like Brittany is hilarious, and Brittany has a lot of snaps. Like she has a lot of she can get you like pretty good. Like she gets me left and right. It's so funny. She if she just like hits me with like a joke, I like ha ha ha. But every once in a while, she'll give me like a 1-2 bam, like a 1-2 haymaker. And it's just like, I didn't expect that. And it's really, but Brittany also, again, graduated, what is it? Now I forget if it's summa or magna cum laude, from a nice private school, like a college, like a nice private university or whatever. It was a university, from a nice private university. She graduated high school with a 4.0 GPA. Like she's also was very studious. So Brittany also knew there's a time to shut your mouth and do your work, and then there's a time to be obnoxious. I never learned that first lesson. I just
yeah.
I know it now. If I'm at work, I don't behave that way. Like I am ultra professional. That's why I'm so not professional when I'm not at work. I'm just like gotta let it out. So, anyways. Cool. Anything else? We good?
Yeah, we're good.
Cool. Well, I'm sorry Neil ruined the session for everybody. Make sure you say only loving things to Neil, but like overtly loving things to Neil over in the Inclame spoilers inside of Discord. That way it's it's so overtly loving to him that it makes him concerned.
Something's wrong.
Yeah. So you got to make sure you pop in there and say just something very, very kind to Neil. But not sarcastically kind. It's just like overtly kind, right? So, anyways. And if you want to get creepy, you can be very specific. You know what I mean? Something like, I like the shade of white that your teeth are. I actually, the RGB of it is, you know what I mean?
God.
Like you can get really creepy with it. And now you have Viking like screenshotting a picture of Neil and actually doing the RGB extension of Chrome to find out what it is. So, like, God damn it, Viking, too far. All right, cool. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much. Tomorrow I will not be recording or streaming in the morning. I'm bringing my daughter to the Museum of Science if she's feeling better. If she's not feeling better, I'm going to have to find some other way of making it up to her because it's not her fault. She just suddenly got sick again. But I will be having the next Patreon video coming out prior to Monday because that pertains to the level up of Densho's characters. I have not done that video yet. Wait, have I?
You did Urzog. That was it.
Yeah, I did not do those characters, so it'd be prior to Monday to make sure that Jake's characters are in line with the other two for his next Kingdom roll, because otherwise it wouldn't be fair, right? So that video will be coming out prior to Monday, one way or the other, just so you guys are aware. If I have any good news or just news, I'll let you know. I'll see you tonight on Lost Initiative. You boys ready to go?
You got this.
Yep.
Let's see if there's somebody to raid. Let's show some love. Oh, here's our friend. Let's go say hi to Tan. He's playing Kingmaker. What comment should we say to Tantus? How about like overthrow the Emperor? Like what should we say? Something like, what do you think? Overthrow the Emperor? Death to the King? How about Death to the King? There we go.
Death to the
Kingmaker.
King sounds
That
better.
works.
Death to the King with some sort of emoji that is like a sword or what have you. So Death to the King or something like that. There it is. Your raid message, Death to the King, heading out in a couple of seconds. Thank you, everybody. Bye.